Hi and welcome to Coach Trip Blog Day 6. Yes, hi, how you doing? I hope you had a good weekend. It's Monday again. And that was another episode of Coach Trip over and done with. Shout outs. First of all, I have a shout out for Rachel. Hi, how you doing, Rachel? I have a shout out for my cousin Natalie Sylvester. You alright, Nat? How you doing? I have a shout out for Neil Sharp. Squib, Sai and Rob, you know who you are. Josh Turner, who's like my #1 fan, which is fantastic. Hi Josh, how you doing? And I hope you're enjoying the blog still. And I have a shout out for Daniel D. Prescott, because Daniel D. Prescott was my first ever shout out, and he got a bit upset because he hasn't had any more, so I'm giving him another one. There you go, Daniel, gotta love you. Right, so Loud and Proud. They did Loud and Proud, which is good. I like that. I mean, it's not new, but it works. I like that because we are quite loud and yes, we're not afraid to say what we want to say. So yeah, I like that. Wicked Hotel. If you saw that morning, we left a hotel, and it was an amazing hotel. Had everything. Had Nintendo Wii. I think it had an Xbox, pool table, amazing eating area. It had fantastic patio out, like jacuzzis and stuff outside, amazing garden area, and we got to drink on the production team's tab for a couple of drinks, which was really, really good. So kudos to that. The next morning, yeah, you saw Carol like getting like supplies, crackers, butter, all that stuff. We had to, because if you remember if I said I think it was last Friday or last Thursday, they don't really feed us. They just throw food at you and then say, oh, you've got to eat it. But Danny didn't like the lunch that we had today, as you saw. So obviously he had a nibble of, you know, the stuff that Carol had stored to eat. So, you know, a lot of us do it at times. Apples, yogurts, we do that because that's the best way to eat. We can't trust the production team to feed us properly. Yes, okay. Smelly, wow, okay. Philippe, that guy was awful. Now, bearing in mind, guys, that this was 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, we got there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the man reeked to high heaven. And I remember saying, that man has run everywhere. He's run a 20-mile run today, and he's run everywhere but his own bathroom, I tell you, because it was stale. You know, it's just like it's caked on, and oh my god! And Matt tried to get me to go to him, but it was in a queue where you had to be served by the girl or by him, and it got to me, and it was the guy next. So I was like, oh, and I swapped around and said, oh, there you go, Matt, you can go first. So because I wasn't gonna go near him. Oh, it was awful. It's not what you want to smell in the morning. Yes, Tam, king of the rock climbers. He got right to the top. I think Paul tried valiantly to get to the top. I'm not sure if he did actually. If he did, he did well. Even if he didn't, he did well, because remember his shoes are still missing from that hotel with the maid? Well, he had to do his in obviously just, you know, regular office shoes. So he did really well to get that high. I didn't get so high, but I really, really enjoyed it. Also, Brenda rules. How much does Brenda rule? 71 years old, and she put me to shame. I wouldn't go up there because the ladder was way too rickety for me, and I didn't think it was gonna. I couldn't trust it. Brenda is the champion. And her grandchildren must be, her 9 grandchildren must be incredibly proud of her right now. Also, the wine testing. Yeah, well, at the wine testing, so we got to the wine testing, okay, and yet again, we had no cigarettes because they wouldn't stop anywhere for us. So we had no cigarettes, but we got to this wine testing. The guy came out, and you know what? I understood what he was saying. He was talking about how the water filters through the mountains, and it collects minerals, you know, loads of different types of minerals, and then it gets fed, obviously, into the grape vineyards, where, obviously, they then use the grapes, and it gets infused in the grapes and used to make the wine. I understood all that. But then it came to the tasting, and unfortunately, what the man was saying didn't come across in the wine. Like Tam said, and it is true, here in London, you can get 2 bottles of wine for £5. There's no end to it. But it did taste like that. Even the 45 £45 one tasted exactly the same. And they had different tastes, but all cruddy £5 ones. It wasn't good. But the funny thing was, we were just obviously down in it. But the guy came over to me and he was like, You have to savor it and sip it. And I was like, well, I'm smelling it and stuff, just not long enough for him. So I was smelling it, you know, giving it a little spin and down in it. And then he went, you've got to spit. No, I was like, "Are you crazy? Are you a crack? I am not spitting out wine. This is wine. Yeah, no matter how bad it tastes, it's wine. I'm not spitting it out." So I couldn't do it. But Sheila and Sel don't actually drink, and they got bottles. They got glasses of wine, and they were giving it to us. So me, Jenna, Jodie, Tam, Matt, Paul, and Jenny, we were all there, right, just drinking, right. And Sheila and Sel would go back and say, "Oh, can I get another one? Because it looks more respectable." So there we go. The vote. Right, yes, Danny and Carol had, we'd found out that they'd gone around and they said to people, "Look, let's vote, you know, for one of the, you know, one of the young'uns." They singled out Jenna and Jodie, I don't know why, but they wanted to vote for them. That didn't sit well with anybody. We didn't want to go back to that whole, it's about fun, it's not about this organised crime, you know. So that's why they got the vote off. And I got really upset because Danny took it so well, so well, and it just made it even harder to kind of stand by it and say, "Yeah, we did the right thing." Now, you know what made it worse? You know how when someone gets kicked off, it's like, yeah, bye, you know, bye. No. What happened was we went to the hotel. Now, bearing in mind we had no cigarettes still, we were a little tipsy because we got drunk from all the wine, and then we had to go to the restaurant around the corner and then sit with Danny and Carol. We had to sit with them in the restaurant. They basically, Carol was distraught. Obviously, she had to sit with the people that had just voted her off the show, and we had to sit with her, and it was just really uncomfortable. Then it gets worse, because then on the coach back, they got on the coach with us and had to go back to the hotel, obviously, to stay overnight and then catch the plane out. It was awful. The tension on the coach was just, you know, and Carol was so upset. I feel so bad for her. But yeah, it was just awful. Anyways, so that is the end of day 6's blog. Now, I have got a film review for Solomon Kane. That'll be up in about 15 to 20 minutes. And also, there are coach trip extras, little bits that we did with my Olympus camera while we were out there. There's 7 coach trip extras to the 17. So have a look, check it out, and I'll see you tomorrow. If you want any shout outs, like I said, message me here on Facebook or on Twitter. See you later. Bye bye.